Great news, everybody. Gogolitis is a go. He is a go for Wednesday, Twitter Spaces. If everything works as it should, Gogolitis, Runetoon, and yours truly will be hanging out Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live, and you can hang out with Gogolitis, a true, pixel artist, a master pixel artist. Artist Journal, February 13th, 2023, broadcasting to the world from Berlin, Germany. My name is Adrian Pocobelli. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And look at this. So, as I was saying, Gogolitis, the creator of this gorgeous artwork, this super interesting artwork, is going to be in Twitter Spaces on Wednesday. So I'll put out the tweet later today, and I will pin that up, and you can set the reminder and all that good stuff. So continuing on here. So here's the work that he actually just posted. I was going to start with this before I messaged him, by the way. I just messaged him here. And so this is an edition of 20. And if I remember the tweet right, he's taking like the top 18 offers, I think, by a certain time, maybe like an hour or two after this video is going to be out. So you'd have to be quick. And so this gorgeous, gorgeous work, and kind of playing with his whole, computer chip, circuit board motif, and now he's got some sliders. So kind of a new phase is what this looks like with the color and the ideas. Kind of a new phase. So beautiful, beautiful work. Sometimes taking a little break can do wonders. Because Gogolitis, I haven't seen him too much in the last few months, but he is one of the first artists that you run into and are just kind of fascinated by when you arrive on Tezos. So anyways, very happy return for Gogolitis. So just a few quick comments here. So get this. So Alpha Centauri Kid, it's pretty amazing for this show. Alpha Centauri Kid sent out a tweet and also a big thank you. The guy who sold at the person who sold at Christie's for over $100,000 weighs in. Man, thank you so much for that thoughtful review. Really, really appreciate you for that. So how great is that? And I'm just thrilled to hear from you, Alpha Centauri Kid. This is a kind of like a new high for this show with artists who are selling for $100,000 at Christie's, if I have all my details right, are chiming in on the show. So that is exciting. Also, a couple of more here. Eduardo Pulitzer, also known as Ed Marola, also had a very interesting comment because we were discussing, I was thinking out loud to myself, does Ed just simply, is he just not planning anything? Is he just putting stuff down and then kind of working with what he has, kind of like Robert Rauschenberg was? In a sense, is there no plan? Because that's kind of what I was starting to get the sense for. So he replied, "It's super common for me to just paint an abstract background and wait for someone or something to emerge from the composition. So yes, now or not uncommon to draw it first on paper and work a bit more conscientiously on the theme and composition. Now, I don't know if this is not or now uncommon to draw it first, probably now, I assume. But point being, it's super common for him to work that way. And that was the sense I was getting. It's a fun way to work. It kind of takes a lot of the work of making art out of it, because all of a sudden you're just like, whatever is here, and I just work in the moment. Very interesting, fun way to work. So thank you, Ed, for the comment. Super interesting. We're going to see some more of your work here. And thank you, Luciana, who we started with, also had some nice comments on Twitter. And she loves Daniel Richter. So that was great. And she loved how I kind of put them together. So that was great, too. So that's awesome. I'm happy that you're happy, Luciana. And Runetoon, talking about the Memento Mori. So remember we were looking at the One Don't Knows? And I think he called it Memento Mori, and I was sort of wondering out loud what that meant. We looked it up. Runetoon has come in to fill the gap here. Memento Mori, as you're referencing in the One Don't Knows work, is an artistic trope that symbolizes or serves as a reminder of our own mortality, or more specifically, as the inevitability of our death. A human skull is the most obvious, prominent motif used as a memento mori, but my favorite example of a memento mori is in the work of Hans Holbein the Younger, who used it anamorphically in a work titled The Ambassadors, which I believe you referenced in the Artist Journal recently. We did. In that painting, the skull looks like a quill feather pen, but cryptically its perspective is warped, anamorphic perspective, so that if viewed from the appropriate angle, you'd see a skull. So I brought that up. So here it is. So I think I've seen this. I'm not sure which museum. I think it's in a major museum, maybe the Vatican, but I can't remember. We can look it up another time. But the idea with anamorphic perspective, which I'm kind of learning from Runetune here, is depending on where you're standing in the room, if you stand in the right place, the skull looks normal. Okay, but if you stand straight on, as we are right now, then it looks really warped. So this is anamorphic perspective here. Hans Holbein the Younger, I believe he said. Also, Tukes weighed in, which was fascinating, and he sent me a message, and I asked him if I could share what he was saying. And he was talking about his process, and he said, "You're right, it is AI that I'm using." And then he said, "I'm using Midjourney and ChatGPT." And I was like, ChatGPT? And we have discussed this a little bit of using ChatGPT for prompts with Santiago in the first or second spaces that we did. But he uses ChatGPT for all the text, like whether it's the prompt, the title, the description, all of it. And then he was saying he also uses a lot of, I believe it was like layers or versions, and he'll take his favorite parts of each version and kind of mix everything together. So very interesting. Thank you, Tukes, for sharing that, and thank you for being gracious enough to let me share that with everybody, because think about that. ChatGPT as part of the prompt. So prompt engineering at work here, and look at the fantastic results. So pretty wild stuff. Beautiful work. So Tez Quake Aid continues. So I've released a work, and you can pick up an 808 Sketch 2 for 2 Tezos here. And I've already 48 gone, which is fabulous here. Just released it last night, so that is thrilling, and there are a ton more here. Look at this beautiful work by Uxine. He raised, I think, it was an edition of 100 for 40, so I guess 4,000 Tezos, which is probably like $4,500, $4,400, something like that. And it's a really moving work, actually. It looks like a broken computer crying, is what it looks like to me. I found it quite moving. So a beautiful work here, now on secondary for 70. And Ile also put out a work, and I'm just taking I can't cover all of them, but look at this stunning work by Ile here. And I love the edge here. So a nice, it looks like an AI artwork of flowers, tulips, flowers for Turkey, and she also did another one for Syria, buy for only a Tezos, edition of 30. And so yeah, if you want to do it yourself as an artist, it's quite nice because, artists usually have no money, at least traditionally. And so here's a way that, us as artists can give. So go to Tez Quake Aid, click on this link here, and that'll bring you here, and it'll give you instructions on how to mint on objects. So, and I went through the process, and basically what you do is you mint like normal. I put the royalty to this address here. And then once you've minted and all the instructions are here, then you go to actions, and you'll see if nothing's been listed or anything, you'll see a button that says advanced sale. And that's where you can put in that address again. So that is how you do it. That is how you can just give. By giving your time, you can raise money for people who are in desperate need of it. The news stories are heart-wrenching, as I keep saying here, and you keep seeing more and more of them. So anyways, so here are some more ways you can help. Mech.txt with an edition of 100. And so I think he was selling for 7, so 700 Tezos raised. Beautiful work here. Stitching Fishers. And here, Strano this was like Full Screen Friday, Tez Quake Aid, a community initiative to support those affected by the recent earthquake. Show it to my friends below for the live improv. And you see how great it looks on the screen here. And so everybody kind of chipping in a little bit. See if we can, you see that work? By Kareem, I think. So, very cool. So Strano and friends also helping out there. And you can watch 4K here. And continuing on, also Cato, whose work we just started looking at recently, addition of 500 for a Tezos each. So serious money is being raised here, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to everyone. You are not powerless. You are not powerless. You are raising money. Cracked Porcelain 2 by Daniel W. Another poetic work here. What looks like what is this, Turkish porcelain vase. And 100% of proceeds going to Tezquake Aid. Here's another one by Sabato. Fragile composition. A glitch work, seemingly, from Sabato. And Sabato continues to show his versatility with all these different series. I love that. Fragile Compositions, again, goes to Tezquake Aid. And of course, Manidal with a beautiful cat pixel artwork, A Moment of Hope. And this is an edition of 100 for only 77 Tezos cents. So very good deal there for a good cause. So there is a lot of, and there's many, many more, as many of you know. Check this out. I don't know, probably some of you have seen this. I found this pretty interesting. I mean, it sure got my attention. So Leonidas, NFT, who I think is a pretty prominent account, Ordinals is basically super rare, but on Bitcoin, and where the images are stored fully on chain. The one-of-one culture is going to be epic. So there is a new marketplace here, and here is, like, I loaded it up here, and so you see it's just like very, and you're seeing people are getting their .btc. So it looks like NFT culture has finally, I mean, I don't know the history that well, so, but as far as I understand, it feels like it finally landed on Bitcoin. And the fact that it's all stored on chain is pretty fascinating. So I am just kind of waving a bit of a flag here and saying this is super interesting, because who doesn't want to mint on Bitcoin? I would love to mint on Bitcoin. So anyways, ordinals.com, and there's like a handbook and a wallet clock. So anyway, I'm not exactly sure how it all works, but it sounds pretty darn interesting. So this also happened too, and I feel like things are happening here in terms of curation in the space. So Zip Bomb, curated by Martin Brook, and there are 31 NFTs here. Kind of a lot of people like Venta and Skomra, and just beautiful works. Rocano. I'd never seen this Rocano before. A really nice one. My friend Ben has done a painting of these solitaire cards. So anyways, some really awesome work here. You got a Sabato, and also there was an RJ and a Sky Goodman also had a work here. Here's the Sky Goodman. So anyways, and I think once RJ's work was posted here, then people started bidding on, then there was like a bidding war. Where is it? It was here. I don't want to reload my computer, but there isn't, I think it's in the activity here. Yeah, you'll see Computer and Void at auction, and it went for, thank you, anonymous collector of Computer and Void, who picked it up for 0.66 ETH. So RJ is on the way up here. And thank you, Martin Burke, for curating the incredible Zip Bomb world and so much amazing art in one place. Agreed. So I could see this becoming more and more popular, and I think Foundation, I assume anybody can just curate on Foundation right now. So again, that kind of open door policy is working quite well for Foundation, and I think they're kind of ahead of the game. Like if you're a curator in Web3, there haven't been a ton of options for you. And I think with Foundation here, you're starting to get some options. And so I just want to show you the bidding war here for RJ's work. So this David Hockney inspired work, look at this. Pablo Punkasso ended up taking it at the end, and for 0.66, and again, there's a bidding war again for an RJ, so congrats to RJ and Pablo Punkasso. And here is the Rocano. Here's the beautiful Rocano here. So one of our gradient artists that we like to look at here, as I like to call them, and so really nice composition. This is from December. This is Venta. Computer says no, and this is an hour left in the auction. There's already a bid. So all to say, I think Object should get on that, is sort of my personal opinion on it, because I just think it's such a great way to sell work. Like, I think that's how people want to be sold in a lot of ways, is just like a regular art show. They want a curated exhibit. Because back to this idea of why was I putting together the genres of digital art, is because of the chaos and confusion that happens when you arrive on somewhere like Object and you don't know where to start and you see 20 different genres and you don't know how to make sense of it. Curation is another way to make sense of it. This is a beautiful work, by the way, by Venta. And here is Venta again, and we're going to see more curation in a second here. We're on the Foundation front page. So Foundation, very wisely, in my opinion, is pushing their curation. Zip Bomb is jam-packed with incredible artworks by masterful artists, all offering a unique view into a world of digital art with a capital D. Please come see it for yourself. Now, one question that was raised in my head is, do you even need to ask the artists if you're deciding to curate their work? Because I could see it where potentially you might not need to, and maybe that's a better scenario, but it kind of raises some interesting questions. Maybe you don't want to be curated in certain areas or whatever. So interesting, right? And here's some more example of curation. So this has been happening on Nifty Gateway for a few months now, maybe 2 or 3 months, but it kind of is back to this idea that I think this is just going to become more common. So chapter 4, Dare to Play. And I was looking at this work, and the artist was saying it's on, Nifty Gateway, and it's part of this curation here, right? And it's sort of like, this is a really simple way, this is kind of user-friendly. I would say somewhat unlike the kind of metaverse ones where you have to hit K and Y and the space bar and whatever just to see anything. Nothing against those platforms, but this is so much easier as a collector. You come in and you know exactly what to do and how much, and it takes no time. You can just go reptilian and go, okay, Playroom looks great, that's $49, and you can decide in less than 10 seconds what you want to do. So anyways, I'm kind of flagging this a little bit, and it's good for sales, seemingly. It's good for the artists. I mean, Rocano, that work was from December 31st or something. So also for older works coming back into the mix is kind of another interesting way of thinking about it. Boo Boy, GM everyone, woke up and found that there was a minted 7 editions. So this is from Nifty Gateway. Really thank you. I will know who collects it when it ends, so excited, and thanks in advance if you see this post. Playroom minting available for 37 hours on Nifty Gateway. So just very interesting mechanics here. On to digital painting here. So Rare Force 1, or Rare, put out a stunning painting. This is a digital painting, and it is stunning, the execution here, and this is based on Breton Riviere's painting Resquiet from 1888. Maybe we should look that up quickly. Hopefully we don't crash the computer here. Let's just see, gently. You can see it here. Yeah, so here the dog, and the dog is here, and so you can see the comparison. I kind of like the light in Rares a little bit better. It's a little brighter. So it's not just a direct transcription here. He did a beautiful job on here. So I assume this will be available soon on, I assume Super Rare, but I guess we shall see. Beautiful. A new one from Myth. And so this was an edition of 10 for 50. So for quite, so upping the prices here, 100% deservingly. And still, he's only getting 500 Tezos for his work. And, Myth has earned his way up here. So anyways, interesting, mysterious piece as usual. See the eye kind of seems to be wandering off a bit here. Almost looks like 2 myths or even 3. And is that the myth 2? And then the naked woman in the blood and another person that looks like they've been murdered. And these little guys, homunculi, is that what you'd call them? And the cigarettes. So anyways, it looks like an ambitious work, and the architectural setting is quite interesting too. Again, always kind of semi-surreal here, and you see it kind of goes down there. The wall kind of dips down. Super interesting work from Myth. So very cool. Bazaya with a new work here. And this Lo-Fi Steve, so this is an actor. I mean, is it Steve Buscemi? I'm not a great movie guy. So looks like no Steve, no party here. And so just a cool work by Bazaya. I didn't see it minted anywhere. I looked and I couldn't find it. And almost like a Pepe Steve here. And so anyway, just fun and cool as usual. Dan Control with kind of like a Magritte feeling piece, hey? Kind of looks like a crime scene, this red wine here. And interesting, playing with the repetition here again of the glass, putting it, for the first time I can remember, in a architectural space that is not just a line horizon, but more of like a three-dimensional or, indoor interior. So just kind of interesting. Almost, again, a Magritte, even loosely de Chirico feel. Nice gradient there. So you see it continue to evolve with Dan Control, crime scene. And here's a 1 of 1, no bids, and you can get a 1 of 1 Dan Control for 30 Tezos right now. And you see the megaphones here, so a really nice work here too. So anyways, interesting work from Dan Control. And look at this, Santiago. This looks like representational, doesn't it? And Santiago, of course, does a lot of abstract work, but I'm really digging this work. I mean, it looks like someone's lungs and like a body and just, things, maybe some tubes flowing into it. Gorgeous, gorgeous textures here and gorgeous colors. So very, very interesting work from Santiago. This sold out, edition of 21. Music from the background of nature before and after time happened. Prompt to image tools. Inkscape, which I don't know what that is. Like maybe that's how he's getting these gorgeous textures here. Digital textures is what I'm seeing here. Okay, like beautiful digital textures. PNG and GIMP, of course. So cool work here. More digital textures here, courtesy of Ed Marola. Monster Tales. And here you see kind of the blurred out pixels as usual and just a wild monster from Ed's imagination. Someone reading. And it's almost like I want to think, this is almost, I think, what you call simultaneous narrative, or it's not even quite like that, where multiple scenes are happening in the same painting. You see it in Renaissance painting sometimes. But this, the way I want to read this is this person who's reading, this is what's occurring in that book. And then there's this strange, unusual structure here with someone sitting over top and the frame that bleeds into the image, almost like a dream. Beautiful. Very interesting work by for 4 Tezos, Monster Tales, edition of 25, and a 1 of 1, Elementals. So again, so this sold for 85 Tezos, pretty reasonable for Ed Marola 1 of 1, and just, again, more interesting textures and elements, some city elements and whatnot, and again, almost blurred out over here in a different way. Anyways, very interesting colors too. Authentic Waffles with a few more PFPs here, or neats as they're being called, and these went for auction, and they kind of went for pretty reasonable prices, I'd say. And again, I'm wondering if this is Mario paint that they're using, because this looks like a Mario star, and these awesome, awesome textures here. I have a feel like maybe this is Mario paint. PFP, and let's just see what it went for. 25 to Santiago. Neat 113, another, again, kind of has an expressionist look, went to Islay for 17. Pretty reasonable. Again, looks like Mario paint or something, I'm guessing. Here's another one, and you see that repeated thing, but it's just gorgeous how rich these textures are. Again, digital textures. Neat 112. And so, anyways, more beautiful work. Let's just see what this went for. 1 of 1s, 25 to Santiago. And this one was gorgeous too, slightly different background. And this looks like a self-portrait. This went to Fangers for 71. So pretty cool. This went for 35. Again, gorgeous textures in here. And you even get the movement. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's movement in the, in the texture of the face here. So just incredibly interesting as usual. And again, just having that expressionist look and feel to it. So beautiful, beautiful work from Authentic Waffles. Went for 14, only 14 Tezos, 1 of 1. Tezos is wrapping up the furniture series. Today's drop will be the last edition piece. So he's going to be putting out some 1 of 1s. I saw him just right, but from tomorrow's home furnishings collection for a while. So the last edition pieces for a while. Next week, I'll list a handful of 1 of 1s. And at the end of the week, I'll mint a 10 of 10 to airdrop to the biggest holders of the series. And this was great here. Last but not least, thanks to Pocobelli for shouting out the series so much. I think you may have actually mentioned every piece. I think you might be right. And your kind words brought a smile to my face each day. So happy to help Tezos. And it's a rad series. So yeah, thanks for helping fill the show with rad content. And here is the latest, is this desk here. Future desk. You can still get it for $9. And yeah, look at how much he put out too. And there's another page of this stuff. So totally awesome. You can still get this. This is the new one. And just gorgeous. Again, this rich textures, right? And it's interesting to talk about texture on a digital surface because, of course, it's flat, right? But I'm just seeing texture everywhere. Nature's Distortion 001, so more glitched work. This is from Glitch David, whose work is very affordable. And this is an edition of 15, I think. And I saw this on Twitter, and a GIF created with MPEG, 25 megabytes, 136 frames, buy for 2 Tezos. And here's another artist. I'm not sure if we've looked at them, Jada.tez, with some more glitch work here. God, that just fills the screen beautifully here. And so it looks like it's designed exactly for the ratio of my screen here. So anyways, just more interesting, beautiful video art. Glitch video art made with live coding using Hydra and analog process in real time with a Panasonic Aave 5 and color pattern generator. Buy for 3, edition of 15. You could just collect the glitch video work and have a beautiful collection on Tezos. The Internet by Kurt Hustle Collective. A beautiful GIF here. A mysterious GIF. I don't think he sent it out to anybody yet, or they have sent it out to anybody. So again, playing with glitch video and kind of retro computers here. Let's just take a look. Often they play with the mechanics. So maybe you buy a different work and you get this. I'm not sure. You'll have to keep tabs on that. Kristen Roos with 4 works here that are really interesting. And again, this seems to be video recording a TV. RCA1 grayscale palette shifting, black and white RCA television MP4. So let's just play this. So again, pretty interesting. A rich gray and these beautiful gradients that are kind of sliding down here. So just interesting, playing with the static there too. I assume he's recording a TV. And another one here, I think I brought up all 4. So just gorgeous here. These are available for 20 Tezos, I believe, if you can still get them. So very nice. 20 Tezos, edition of 20. And here is another one, RCA 3. Almost looks like some of his other work, like these buildings, but like a variation, and then fed into a TV. I don't even know how you would do that, but I'm sure these guys, I don't know anything about video and getting that stuff, but just to get your, let's say you made a work on Photoshop or say Deluxe Paint, and then you want to plug it into a RCA TV. I assume they know how to do that. Grayscale palette shifting also. So here's RCA 4. We'll just play that. So more beautiful, beautiful work. Again, we're kind of back to these rich digital textures here. I mean, you see it in these pixels. There's something reminiscent of the Authentic Waffles that we just saw. So something's going on out there. Koda Neka Zono with another interesting abstract here with the pixelated background and kind of like the biomorphic organic front. Buy for 10 Tezos, edition of 11. Beautiful. And another artist I haven't seen before, found on Twitter, JoyK1D. I think Gogolitis may have retweeted this, Electrify. So just an interesting GIF here, an digital abstract GIF, buy for 10, edition of 22, and Native Ed with a new work, new model. Very cool work here. Kind of feels like something sci-fi, futuristic, and anyway, interesting. Is this a GIF? Yeah, this is a GIF. Buy for 18, edition of 20. So this is on secondary. Let's just look at the primary. You could have got it for 10. So pretty cool GIF is what I have to say on that. Very cool. Popple with some new work, a new, I guess, monster from the Sanitarium, Lord of Mandrake, an awesome title. No big surprise there. And so beautiful work here. They're very popular as well. Buy for 9, edition of 25. So there's 13 left. This was just released. And here you can read the poem of the Lord of Mandrake. So very nice work from Popple. Web3 City. I've never seen this artist before either. Notorious Man XTZ. Edition of 10. I think this sold out on primary. I was seen in the tweet. Just interesting pixel art. It looks like a city. Very interesting pixel art. So weird, like hard horizontal composition. Very cool. Web3 cities. And also, I think Gogolitis sent me this the other day, or one of Green Ginger's work, Liquidation. And so just kind of playing with the city theme here as well, and pixel art. And I guess this is more of a 3D, has a 3D feel to it. And here are some others. So Geometric Wonderland, and also kind of in those same palette and style. And here is the whole series here. Team of 2 self-taught pixel artists. So there are 2 pixel artists here. Green Ginger. So that is cool. A cool collaboration, Adventure Through the Unknown. And Manidal has a new tarot card from the Cat Tarot. And so this is the Lovers. And we have 2 beautiful cats here, and even seemingly Adam and Eve kind of reference, or a biblical reference with the snake in the garden and the apple tree. And here you have an angel on top, the 6th card of the tarot. And so there it is. Can you still get it? No. Was it for sale? Not yet. So maybe you can put an offer in. Check their Twitter feed if you want more info on that. This was an interesting work I saw on Twitter too. Pixel Quests, work in progress, awaiting your return. Just kind of an interesting work here. So anyways, I just thought I'd share it. Some interesting pixel art from Pixel Quests. And there's Gogolitis. I see the talent there a lot. So yeah, we're learning a lot from Gogolitis's feed. Again, looking forward to Wednesday to delving deeper into everything pixel art and more. Look at this, another interesting artist, Nana. So just more interesting abstract illustrated work here with some interesting textures here as well. So very cool. And this is on, I think, exchange.art, which is Solana. And also another one from Antonio Loves, who we've just are more than happy to show here, Angels, Saints, Prophets, Apocalyptic Beast. So another kind of surreal work with some legs that turn into heads and then a skull. So very experimental and some nice textures here and some beautiful colors. And also another new artist that I haven't seen before, Emily M. Ree, Heaven or Las Vegas. So again, playing with 3-headed woman here, and just interesting, kind of has an Eastern feel to it, but with palm trees and a spider web. So very cool. Form function. So Solana is not dead. It's like another kind of takeaway here. Solana is not dead. Flora Marquez with another work here, a couple of works here. Buy for 30. So this is Mr. Dimitri just looking for a quick 2x here. So you can actually get a Flora Marquez for pretty cheap, 1 of 1, with some color in it here. And there's another one, and I'm just loving what she's putting out here. I dreamt about many people who are already dead, and this one is gone. To Hen Farmer, so very cool. Another new artist, Intro Void is the Artist Vanitas #1, and I believe digital painting and collaged AI, very big file, 6,000 by 5,000. So again, combining painting and AI, so it looks pretty interesting. Could hang very well with Venta's work. And yeah, it looks like, again, the skull, almost the memento mori, but this is a vanitas. So we're learning a little bit of Latin here throughout the show. And Sabato with a very interesting experimental series here, GIF. I mean, I don't know how he comes up with this stuff, but yeah, you basically see a room in glass, and I think he calls it like a video game. It looks like a mention of the Super Bowl is kind of being said here. So just very unusual GIF here, totally original series here. And normalization facility, the offshore firm volume 2, so totally cryptic. This might be burnt. This could be a variation. But it looks like Sabato is thinking about the Super Bowl. Anyways, check that out. And also John Cates. I think Sabato retweeted this too. I'm positive he did. Very interesting. And he mentioned John Cates on a Twitter Spaces a few weeks ago. And it sounds like, I don't know too much about John Cates, but this is a pretty cool work. And I think he knows a lot about glitch. The artificially illustrated glitch Western primer for machine learners. So anyways, edition of 5. This was available for 5 when it came out. Now it's 55. Cool work. And continuing on with some AI and some music. So this is Luca, sensual seduction, and yeah, just an interesting mix of what looks like an AI record cover with some music. So shout out to Luca. I think I saw them tweet out that they, wanted to be on this program, and I thought, no problem. That's a beautiful. You've given me every excuse in the world, Luca, to put this on, if it is the same Luca. Anyways, cool work, cool looking AI work there too. Check out Mother Louisiane, Error Vertical. So I believe this is AI as well. And I'm going to go deeper in the series here, but very good looking AI. And here is Mother Louisiane on Foundation. And look at this work here. Created with AI. So these look like collage works or something with maybe some gouache painting, but these are AI works. So super cool. They look great and they are selling. So yeah, Pablo Picasso also picked that one up. So they're on a buying spree. And then finally in the AI section here, Strange Thing with some more beautiful work here. So again, doing the AI fashion and combining it with like Renaissance architecture, you can almost see it here. So it's a brilliant combination, and he continues to just like pump out the beautiful images here. And so I was even looking on his Instagram. I mean, he was in Vogue Business, which is Vogue. He was in Vogue, so Strange Thing continues to do very, very well. And I mean, look at the 2,000 likes. So he's doing beautifully, deservedly. Like, look at this, great glasses. I mean, very prolific and doing a wonderful job here. Beautiful suitcase, Nike Energy. And finally, Charles AI. So this is a strange one. I can't make this bigger, but the reason is because this is a dynamic NFT, and it's basically, according to your time of day, is how the sun is in the sky and the light. So I guess at night it's dark, I assume. And so this went for 5 ETH, $7,400 on Super Rare. So congrats to Charles AI. And I quite liked what he wrote here. The Greco-Roman style of the piece refers to the fact that artists and collectors alike are currently actively participating in the Renaissance 2.0, which will reshape the art world as we know it. But just this, almost this mixing, like, I think artists and collectors are becoming increasingly mixed together. We're seeing artists collecting like never before, and we're seeing collectors making art like never before. So anyways, interesting piece. And Charles AI takes some flack from people, but you have to give him credit. I mean, he's trying out new things, so Yeah, so I continue to enjoy his innovations here. Marina Amadova with some new work here, and this is also on Nifty Gateway. Some more curation here, and beautiful work from Marina here with almost that twins type theme, or two people, two kids, and also Soom, Stay Awake, a beautiful work here. I want to call it painterly AI work of someone in their studio here, and just kind of a very nice work, edition of 100, buy for 1 Tezos. So very affordable there. And finally, Shirley the Kid sent me this, and I thought it was quite beautiful. Dali. So, I mean, it has a real kind of like deep, like almost like Monet and Seurat, but its own thing. It actually retains originality, I think. So a really interesting work there, Shilly. Thanks for sending that. It's beautiful. Meadow, very interesting. And finally, a couple more here. Data Velvet with kind of that Japanese, I don't know if I'd call it screen, but kind of a Eastern, let's call it that, kind of look to it and feel, and a beautiful, beautiful work. Anyways, I think this sold. So another new discovery here, 0.44 ETH. That's pretty good. And again, it looks like, yeah, Data Velvet times AI. So maybe a little bit of, playing around with the AI, a little bit of editing the AI. And here's another beautiful work. This was also by someone who's like, oh, it would be great if Pocobelli put me on the program. And I just saw them write that. So I was like, I'll take a look. And they have this beautiful work here. So this is Viratur Art, Good Night, Place Where the Moon Sleeps. And so anyways, I'm thrilled that you want to be on the show, and look at how beautiful this is. So anyways, big shout out to Viratur. And I have another one by them, actually. Look at how interesting this is. Good Night. So again, the depth here, this is a curator's, and I'm not a curator, I do it accidentally every morning here, but it should be every curator's dream, because there is so much talent out there and so much that's happening digitally on the blockchain here. And now you even have the tools with Nifty Gateway and even Foundation. Again, I don't even know if you have to ask. Because if you don't, I almost think you shouldn't have to ask, and then you can just put whatever together that you want. So anyway, so here's some physical work. Mark Belden, and I've been noticing their work for a while. I really enjoy it. It is gouache on St. Armand paper and kind of has this neon feel. I'm not quite sure how they get such a rich pink here on this paper, but they managed to do it. Mark Belden, and yeah, here's more. Look at this great flowers here. Just beautiful. We may have looked at this one before, but anyways, just really nice work. And another one from Bruno Miguel's studio, whose work we've also been looking at. And kind of a clue, because I thought they were painting in the background here of all these other works, but it looks like they're taking these kind of old rugs and painting on top of them. So here you go. So very experimental and very cool. Just love the contrast here. Really, really nice work. And again, making it look easy. Good. Thanks for everyone for joining me. And until next time, take care.